How are y'all? It's me, Aloha. Hey guys, and welcome back or welcome to Elements of Aloha, where I talk about things that interest me, affect me, or am very passionate about. And in today's video, I'm basically gonna be recapping my college experience so far as a recovering people pleaser. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So, flashing back to about 5 years ago, one thing our middle school was able to do was have us take high school classes in eighth grade. So, instead of us taking normal eighth grade math, we were able to take Algebra 1, and we were also able to take physical science so that once we got into high school, we can sign a paper that says we have gotten our Carnegie credit, and it'll immediately take us to geometry. And physical science isn't a class you could take again in high school, but it is a class that counts for your fourth science credit in order to graduate high school. So I ended up getting both the physical science credit and the Algebra 1 credit because even though we got our passing grades, it wasn't enough. We had to sign a specific slip saying that we wanted to get the credit. Why would we do all that suffering for nothing? Come on now. That just doesn't make any sense. But since I frantically checked my email, I was able to give that to my parents so they could electronically sign it. And boom, once I started high school, I was able to start off with geometry instead of Algebra 1. Fast forward to the second semester of my sophomore year of high school. So in my county, they have this school that's kind of like a technical college, but high school edition. They have things such as cosmetology, culinary, flight aviation, STEM. So most of the things you expect to see at a technical college, you will see at this high school. So in exchange for that, you would trade in half of your 8 classes in order to pursue that one credit, either in science or in math. And keep in mind, I already had my 4th science credit from middle school. So by the time I was starting to register for my classes for my junior year of high school, I had already had 3 science credits under my belt: biology, chemistry, and my physical science, which counted as my 4th science. The only science I needed to take was physics. But the main reason why I was interested in attending this high school was because they had a culinary program and I like food. I like to eat, so I was like, why not? I know they're not about to make like some jollof, suya, meat pie, and egusi, but hey, if I'm getting points for making food, like, why not? Why would I not join? So when the application opened up like the second week of second semester, I was one of the first people that applied because it's a lottery process. So, the earlier you apply, the more likely you are to get in. Or so I thought. So I made this plan with a few of my friends that I made my sophomore year. I'm like, we're all gonna go to the same school next year. We're all gonna do different pathways, but for the same subject. So we're all gonna be seeing each other extra next year. Or so I thought, right? So a few years ago, my county implemented these things called digital learning days, where some days our teachers would just post the assignments and we'd have class asynchronously. So, I still remember the date, March 2nd, 2022. This was Ash Wednesday. So, I come home from church and I check my email because that day was supposed to be the day where they announced whether or not you got in to Maxwell. So, since I had applied, and also between that time where they had the final decision and everything, they had us meet with a few of the counselors to see how we were going to tweak out our schedule for the next year if we did actually decide to go to Maxwell. So, I get home and I check my email and I see that these nonsensical people put in big, bold letters, hey, we know you decided to apply to this high school, Maxwell High School, for culinary and cosmetology. Well, we decided to withdraw your application.
Girl, stop playing with us right now. Like, we really don't feel like.
I mean, you could have just said, like, deny it, but withdraw. And I was one of the very first people to apply. That is so nasty. That is very nasty. So I went into the group chat I had with my friends from sophomore year, and I was like,
Maxwell's garbage, da 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 da, they rejected me.
And next thing you know, a few minutes later, all of them were posting their acceptances into like culinary, cosmetology, aviation, AP art studio. It's kind of like I was sending Maxwell withdrew my application and they were sending their acceptance, kind of being like, she ain't no diva to me.
And if people say, Monica, how can you laugh at that? Because damn it, it's funny.
So I was like, okay, well, damn. Congrats, y'all. But I didn't even sweat it because why would I give up 4 periods of my class time to get a useless credit that I don't even need? Because it's not going to replace the required physics credit I need. So, whatever. But one thing I did like that my high school did was that it had alternatives for language arts classes. I know the required English classes you have to take are 9th grade lit, world lit, and American lit. So they gave you the choice of, hey, you don't have to take British lit, because if it's one thing I did not like reading in 9th grade was Shakespeare. You know, Romeo and Juliet was just like something that they flushed down our throat for the whole semester. Like it's one of the most overhyped piece of text forever. Me personally, I'm not killing myself over a guy I met 3 days ago. Once I found out that this all took place in 3 days, I'm like, are you serious? Like, this wouldn't have happened had Romeo had patience, you know? Being like, oh yeah, the poison's about to wear off, then boom. And then she's like, oh my god, he's dead. I'm gonna kill myself too. No you don't. No you don't, girly. Live your life. Oh, okay? Alright? I feel like it would have been a lot better had we watched that play. Because we were just watching clips back and forth from the 1968 version and 1996 version. But anyways, like, let me get off that whole Shakespeare tangent. So instead of taking British Lit, they had some other AP options, and then they had this class called Dramatic Writing, where basically you would write like short stories, poems, TV scripts, plays. So I was like, okay, I enjoy writing, so why not? So by the time I entered my junior year of high school, I had 18 credits. And in Georgia, you need 23 credits to graduate high school, but you only need 17 credits to become a senior. So by the time I finished applying for my classes and everything, the only required class I had left for my senior year originally was American Government and Economics, and both of them are half a credit. So you cannot take both of those in one semester. You have to take either one or the other. So I probably would have been stuck. Either I could have done like leadership at my school, I could have worked at my school as like an assistant or at the bank, or I could have taken dual enrollment classes, or what was that last thing? Um Work-based learning. So yeah, those were my options, or so I thought. That's gonna be my favorite phrase. This video is gonna be oh so or so I thought. So basically, I had this friend since freshman year, so we both decided to take dramatic writing. So we had the class together for like the first week, and then all of a sudden her schedule just randomly gets changed. So I was like, hold up. So we still had our honors classes together. So I was like, girl, hold up, what happened? Like, why were you taken out of his class? And then she tells me that she was able to take two math classes at the same time, pre-calc and algebra 2. So those were the remaining credits that she needed, plus the one for government and economics. So I was like, so you're basically graduating early? And she was like, yeah. I had no idea you could do that, because obviously they want you to be there for 4 years, but you can't transfer most of the credits after you get the required 23. It's stupid. It's stupid. So I was like, huh. Graduating early was something I had like in the back of my mind. I didn't think that was possible until I saw that. So one of the classes that I had on my schedule at the time was music technology. And for the 3 days I entered that class, I was like, I'm not going to do any work in this class. All I've been doing was work from my other classes, specifically my American Lit class, and I felt no passion for the class at all. So I was deciding which class I should give up, and at the time I had that class at 6th period. I was like, I like all my other classes. This is the only class I am willing to give up. I was praying that the schedules invested in my happiness, like that Brandy song sitting up in my room, and that they had American government being taught at 6th period. And so luckily they did. So I was like, bye-bye. Got my schedule changed, and I was able to add my remaining credit onto my current junior year schedule. So basically, I was like, okay, there's no reason for me to be at this school anymore if I only have one class. I hated the school. They were always punishing us for things we didn't do. Like, the staff was just rude to everybody, regardless of who you were. Where people were fighting every morning. They were closing bathrooms because kids were like smoking, it was just so much nonsense. And then most of my friends I had from high school, I couldn't see them anymore because they all went to Maxwell. So like there's nothing keeping me here anymore. Even the friends I do talk to, I only see them at lunch. I don't have any classes with them. So I was like, let me just get out of here. So after I officially get my schedule changed so that I can graduate early, I get on the bus and I tell one of my longtime best friends, hey, like, I'm thinking of graduating early. And then she was like, oh my gosh, that's great, but you're leaving me.
Rightfully so.
I didn't think anything of it. I was like, it's still the beginning of the year. We still have the whole year together, but that's what I thought. That's what I thought too. I didn't think it'd be like this. But hey, let's continue, Jerry. When it came to me graduating early, it wasn't something that I officially wanted to blurt out until I knew, like, for certain I was gonna pass all my classes and get the hell right up out of there. Because who do I look like being like,
you guys still have to deal with this crappy high school next year. I'm graduating early. Deuces. Every time just be like, I'm graduating. I don't have to see you guys again. I'm graduating.
only if I fail, they'll be like, oh, I thought you were graduating, right? Okay, chill. Back where they originally planned for you to be, graduating a whole year later and not early. So I only told like a select handful of my friends that I was graduating a year early. So once I finished first semester, the classes that were giving me a bit of a headache were, of course, math. I was taking statistics at the time, and physics, which is basically math coded. Like, you don't do any science in that class. It is just math. It's even harder than regular math. It's crazy. But once senior events started to roll around, then I officially was like, yeah, I am a senior. So any time where I mentioned like I was a senior and I was graduating early to all of our other friends that were also seniors, it's like she would be happy for them because they were a year older than her. Like, she already knew they were going to graduate high school. But when it came to me, it was just like, oh yeah, you're leaving me. Like, I had to constantly be like, yes, me too. I'm graduating too. And mind you, this was like the very first person I told I was going to graduate early. I didn't get a chance to tell my besties. I was graduating early sooner because they were in school at the time. So I was thinking, like, we have been friends for such a long time. I thought like you of all people would be happy. So it wasn't really like a congratulations thing. It was just like, oh, okay, you're leaving. That's great. So when it came to graduation and everything, most of the people that, saw me for our college signing day and all the other public senior events that the whole school is invited to see, most of them were happy for me. So I was like, all right, senior finals, we leave about a week earlier than everybody else in order to finalize grades and everything, and for them to get like a definite graduate list. So I was like, since it's gonna be me leaving, since I'm gonna end school like a week earlier than you guys, I won't have a chance to say like a proper goodbye. So I wanted to invite them all to my graduation party. And normally I was not able to hang out with my friends at all. It can literally be something as similar as going to the Publix down the street and my parents would be like, no. I wholeheartedly believe like if I was not graduating early, definitely I would have not had any sort of party at all. But I was like, hey, as a final goodbye, like, I'm gonna invite you all to my graduation party at Hibachi. You guys don't have to pay anything. I just want to make your presence. Your presence is good enough. So that friend, she was the first person I told, hey, like, I know we weren't able to hang out because my parents literally do not like me going anywhere that's not home, school, and church. Like, come to my graduation party. And then she was like, oh, I'll be there and everything. The week of my graduation and graduation party comes. And I'm in this group chat with me, her, and like 2 other senior friends. And so we're just talking about graduation stuff. and everything. And we're just making plans on like going to each other's graduation parties. I wasn't able to go to my other friend's graduation party because I was going to another graduation party. So I tried texting said friend. I was like, hey, are you coming? You've just been giving me like vague answers, and you're like, I'll be there, I'll be there, I'll be there. But no response. Like, just decides to ghost me like this whole week. So the day of my graduation party comes, still haven't heard a response back. And so I had my graduation party on Saturday, and my other friend had her graduation party on Sunday. So Saturday, I was glad to see like all of my other friends that I invited like were able to show up. So I was thinking, okay, everybody that's saying they're gonna come came, so like wouldn't she come? Like the school year's over. There's nothing that is going on that like you just can't come. And if so, like you would have told me. I just get radio silence the whole day. Like the whole week of my graduation/graduation party, no congratulations message or anything. It was just complete silence. So I was like, damn. I told you, like, I was graduating early. It wasn't anything of like you being happy for me. When it came to my graduation party, you were the first person I told because I wanted to have another chance to hang out with you. And this is one of the most important weeks of my adolescent life, and I just get radio silence. So Sunday rolls around, and all of a sudden, guess who wants to be active and say, oh, I'm going to be at your graduation party? And mind you, the two of them have only been friends for less than 2 years.
Yeah, I got you. I got you on camera. You on candid camera now. You ain't know that.
So you can clear your schedule for somebody that you've known for less than 2 years. You're coming, but the day before you were just like so busy that you couldn't even tell me that you weren't coming for someone you've known for about a decade at that point. Really? Like I was just like so angry. Like Spencer James, I'm angry. Because like there was numerous amount of times that like I wanted to hang out with this person, but my parents just like wouldn't let me. Like even the said month of my graduation, like I had a disagreement with my dad over said friend, and I'm like, I've been friends with this person for over 10 years. Like they wouldn't get me into trouble. They wouldn't leave me. Only for like 3 weeks later to just like ghost me on one of the most important weeks of my life. It was just like a big slap in the face. So I was like, okay, bet. I'm glad that I'm done with school, so I never have to see your face ever again.
Yes, paybacks. Payback.
For what? For what?
Paybacks. It's so funny. It's so funny to me. I was waiting for the right moment, and that was the right moment.
So I just carried this onto how I treat college. Because one thing about me, when I become friends with someone, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I will literally like take on that person's workload or do anything so that person can seem happy. If someone needed me to help them on a project, I'm there. If someone needed me to assist them on something, I'm there. It really came to the point where anytime like friends needed anything, that would be the only time that they would text me. But when it came to hanging out at like the park, a movie theater, or birthday party, I'd be like one of the very, very last people on the list they would ask, or they just wouldn't ask me at all. They wouldn't even do like the bare minimum of things, such as like shouting me out on my birthday, commenting on my posts, reposting my stuff. Even though I knew it was detrimental to me always making sure everybody else was okay, it was radio. It was radio silence on my end. Even though people were asking me to do something, I felt in my core that it was kind of rude for me to be like, you're welcome. Even though I'm doing people a favor, I'd always be like, oh, no problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. It is. It is. It is a problem. Like, there even be some times where I'll carry on people's schoolwork load on top of my stuff without hesitation. Without hesitation at all. But I wouldn't dare ever ask somebody to do that for me. Because when you're in school and you have that label of not only being smart but nice, they just expect you to be a complete pushover and do everything for them. But God forbid you say no, then you're the worst person in the world. So even when I decided that sometimes I wasn't going to do some things, I'll be like, no, sorry. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I really wish I could. No, I don't. I don't wish anything. Like, it's not like randomly I can do something with the flick of the wrist like that. It takes energy. It takes hard work. Like, they just think I magically woke up like I magically woke up like this and was able to do well in my classes. Mm-mm. A lot of the times they would just like never see me as like an actual person, just see me as like the smart person I could go to for all the answers. But when it comes time to be like an actual friend, that just like never happened. Since high school is more of like a community-based environment, it's very hard for you to be independent and be like, yeah, I'm not going to invest more time in others than I do in myself. I'm going to do my own thing, because it's very, very, very hard to do, because you're in the same classes with people at the same time. It's hard. But college, you don't have to answer to anybody. You're free. The only person you have to worry about is yourself. So that's the main sentiment that I really took once I started college. I was glad. And just as I expected, once I realized that people couldn't talk to me so I could do favors for them, my phone went dry. And I was like, okay, fine. Because I definitely believe that if I was still doing like my normal senior year of high school, I would have continued to sacrifice like my livelihood, my mental health, to make sure other people are okay. But who's making sure I'm fine? You know? There have been some people that were cool in the college classes that I've taken so far, but it's unless I really do need to talk to people, most of the time I will just do my work, put my headphones on, and just go. Just what I really needed. Yes, I still have that academic stress, that's going on in my life, but at least I don't have to put other people's baggage on top of mine right now. Really, I'm just glad that I have my besties to talk to, as well as a few other of my friends that communicated with me besides just schoolwork. Anyways, y'all, that is the end of the video. In my next video, I'm just gonna be talking about how college is like for me academically. So if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe, and check out my last video in the description and the outro. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.